You ever notice that weird paradox in personal finance? That first big savings goal feels like you're climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops. But then, later on, somehow, bigger numbers just start to happen. It's a real thing. Today, we're gonna get into exactly why saving your first 5 grand is such a grind and why hitting 50,000 can feel, well, almost like dumb luck.
So let's just jump right into the big question. Why is it so hard to get that first $5,000 in the bank? I mean, if you've ever felt like you're in a financial wrestling match just to hit that first milestone, you're definitely not alone. It's a super common struggle.
And this is exactly what it feels like, right? You're on this hamster wheel. You're working hard. You're saying no to things you want. You're trying to be responsible. But you check your account, and the needle has barely moved. It is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. But then, something shifts. People who get past that initial hump and hit, say, $50,000 often say it felt easier, like they just caught a lucky break. Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's not luck. Not at all. There is a very real reason this happens, and we're going to unpack it.
Okay, first, let's just talk about the simple, cold, hard math. Because before we get into all the mental stuff, the numbers themselves tell a huge part of this story. This is the slow grind in black and white.
So let's use a pretty typical number. Imagine you're starting out and your monthly income is about $2,000. On paper, that sounds okay, right? A decent place to start building your savings.
But then, life happens. You've got taxes, rent, groceries, your car, student loans, and suddenly, that $2,000 shrinks, and you might be looking at only about $300 left over at the end of the month. That's your actual firepower for saving.
So, let's do that math. At $300 a month, it will take you 17 months to hit that $5,000 goal. 17! That is almost a year and a half of grinding it out. It feels like an eternity, and it's so easy to lose motivation when the finish line is that far away.
But as tough as that math is, it's not even the whole story. The real fight, the thing that makes this stage feel almost impossible, isn't just what's happening in your bank account, it's what's happening between your ears.
And this leads us to what is probably your single biggest hurdle, the psychology of scarcity. It is a crazy powerful force that totally warps your perception of money when you're just getting started. So what even is a scarcity mindset? Well, it's basically when your brain gets stuck in a loop, constantly focusing on what you don't have. It gives you this kind of financial tunnel vision where all you can see is the gap, the stress, and the immediate problems.
And this quote really nails it. You're just hyper-focused on the lack of money. You're not thinking about growth or possibilities. You're in survival mode. You're just trying not to fall further behind. And man, that is an exhausting place to be.
When you're in that mindset, every single dollar feels precious. So when an unexpected bill pops up, your car needs a new tire, you have a surprise medical copay, it doesn't just feel like a small setback. It feels like a total disaster that's pushing your goal into the distant, impossible future.
But here's the good news, and it's really good news. There is a turning point, and when you finally hit it, you unlock this incredible, powerful force called financial momentum. This is where things really start to change.
You see, that feeling of luck we talked about, it's not luck, it's momentum. It's the payoff for all that early grinding. You've built good habits, you've started to change your mindset, and now your efforts are beginning to snowball, creating results that feel way faster and way easier. Look at the difference here. It's a total shift. With a scarcity mindset, you're just focused on saving, on surviving, on scraping by. But with a momentum mindset, your focus shifts to growing. You go from surviving to building. You stop seeing all the limitations and you start spotting opportunities. It's a complete game changer.
So how do you make that leap? Here is the absolute key. You have to stop obsessing over the number in your bank account and start focusing on building systems. These are the repeatable habits and strategies for how you save, how you earn, how you invest, that start to work for you, almost on autopilot.
Okay, that all sounds good, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's get down to business with a super practical 4-step action plan you can use to start building that momentum like right now.
All right, step 1, start small to win big. Forget about 5,000 for a minute. Your only mission is to get to 1,000. That first win proves to your brain that you can do it, and that confidence is like rocket fuel. 2, invest in yourself. Seriously, before you put a penny in the stock market, buy a book, take a course. The knowledge you gain about money will pay you back 1,000 times over. 3, develop a strategy.
A savings account is just a parking spot for cash. You need a real investment strategy so your money stops being lazy and starts working for you. And finally, number 4, this is a big one. Build multiple income streams. Relying on one paycheck is risky. A side hustle, some freelance work, that isn't just extra cash, it's security. It's your escape hatch from that scarcity trap.
Look, that first $5,000 is the hardest for a reason. It's not just about the dollars. It's about forging the discipline, the mindset, and the systems that will carry you for the rest of your financial life. Getting there isn't about luck. It's about laying the foundation. So, looking at these steps, the only real question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take today?